Hello, good morning pre-KB. In this review video, we're going to review the alphabet, the name of the letters and the sound of the letters. Okay, so I want you to pay attention, keep your eyes open, your ears listening, and repeat after Miss Valeria. Also, we're going to practice our air writing. So we're going to name the name of the letter, the sound, and then we're going to air write the letters in with our magic finger, okay? Okay, this is A, B, B, C, D, D, E, F, G, G, H, E, I, E, J, J, K, L, U, M, N, O, O, P, Q, Q, R, S, T, U, V, V, W, X, Y, Z, Z. Very good. Now we're going to start over one more time. We're going to do it one more time. Okay, okay, very good. A, B, B, C, D, D, E, F, G, G, H, I, J, J, K, L, O, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, V, W, X, Y, Y, Z, Z. Excellent. Now I'm going to read you a book, okay? In this book, the title of this book is Curious George Learns the Alphabet, okay, by H.A. Ray. This is George. He lived with his friend, the man with the yellow hat. He has a good little monkey, but he was always curious. This morning, George was looking at some of his friend's book. They were full of little black marks and dots and lines, and George was curious. What could one do with them? The man with the yellow hat came just in time. Don't you tear a book apart to find out what is it's in it, he said. You read it, George. Books are full of stories. Stories are made of words, and words are made of letters. If you want to read a story, you first have to know the letters of the alphabet. Let me show you. The man took a big pad and began to draw. George was curious. This is A, the man said. The A is the first letter of the alphabet. A, now we have 4 feet and a long tail, and the A becomes an alligator with his mouth wide open. The word alligator starts with an A. This is a big A. There is also a small a. All letters come in big and small size. This is a A. It looks like an apple. George knew alligators and apple. You could eat apples, and alligators could eat you if you don't watch out. This is B. The bee looks like a bird. If we put feet on it and a tail and a bill, the word bird begins with a B. Birds come in all colors. The bird is blue. George loved watching birds. This is a small bee. It could be a bee. This bee is like busy buzzing around a blossom. The bee's body has black and yellow stripes. George kept away from bees. They might stink, and that would be bad. This is C. This is a big C. He would make it into a crab. We will make it into a crab, a big crab with a shell and feet and 2 claws. This is a small C. The small is like the big C, only smaller. So it becomes a small crab. It's cute. Crab lives in the ocean and they can swim or run sideways and backwards. Crabs can be funny, but they can also pinch you. You know, you now have 3 letters, George, the man said. A and B and C. With these 3 letters, you can make a word. The first word you can read yourself. The word is cab. You know what is a cab. I once took you for a ride in a cab, remember? And now let's draw the next letter. The big D could be a dinosaur. There are no live dinosaurs today. They have died out. Those you see in the museum are dummies. George had seen dinosaurs in a museum once. The small D looks like a dromedary. A dromedary is a camel with one hump. Riding on a dromedary can make you dizzy because it goes up and down, up and down, up and down. The big E is an elephant. He is eating his evening meal, eggplants. George loves eggplants. And this is a small E. It could be the ear of a man or the ear of a monkey. People's ears and monkeys' ears look very much alike. The big F is a fireman fighting on a fire. Never fool the fire department, or you can go to jail, and that's no fun. The small F, flower. George's friend was fond of flowers. George preferred food. The big G is a goose. Goose starts with a G, like George. The small G is a goldfish. He's in a glass bowl and looks giddy. Now you know 7 letters, George, said the man. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. With this letter, you can already make quite a few words. I have written some of them down. You read them while I get your lunch. It seems that the only word you can read is bad, said the man when he came back. I think we had enough for one morning. I'll feed you now, and then you take your nap. After your nap, we'll go on with the letters. The big H is a house. It stands on a hill behind a hedge. George's home used to be a jungle. Now he lives in a house. The small H is a horse. He is happy because he has heaps of hay. George had his own horse, a hobby horse. The big I is just like a long line going straight down. It does not look much. It does not look like much. It could be an icicle. The small I is a line with a dot on top. It could be an iguana. An iguana is sort of a lizard. Iguanas don't like ice. They like warm sunshine. So does George. The big J is a jaguar. Jaguars live in the jungle. And George knew jaguars. He had lived in the jungle once. The small J is a jack in the box. George had a jack in the box as a toy. He just loved to make it jump. The big K is a big kangaroo named Katie. And the small K is a small kangaroo, and he is Katie's kid. The big L is a lion. He is lucky. He is going to have leg of lamb for lunch. He loves it. The small L is a lean lady. It's a lean lady. She's strolling along a lake, licking a lollipop. George likes lollipops. The big M is a mailman. His name is Mr. Miller. He brings letters. Maybe it's for me, thinks George. The small M is a mouse. He is munching mint. Do you know what else it is? Said the man to George. M is the 13th letter of the ABC. The whole alphabet has only 26 letters, so 13 is just the half of it. You know you can make a lot of words with the letters. Why don't you try? Here's a pad and a pencil. George started to think of words and then he wrote them down. It was fun to make words out of letters. Let me see, said the man. Ball, milk, ham, cake, jam, egg, lime, feed, kid. That's very good. Now, what on earth is a dog or a gilby or a bling ling ling? There are not such things. Just any letters do not make words, George. Well, let's look at some new letters now. The N is a napkin. Napkin. Standing on a dinner plate. It looks neat. George had seen napkins folded the way in restaurants when he was a dishwasher. The small N is a nose in the face of a man. He has a new blue necktie and on and he's nibbling noodles. The big O is an ostrich, and the small O isn't a small ostrich, of course. The ostrich eat odd objects. One ostrich once had tried to eat a bubble that belonged to George. The sorry. The big P is a big penguin, and the small p is a small penguin. These penguins live near the South Pole. They use their flappers as paddles. George knew penguins from the zoo. The Q, the big Q, is a quail. Quails have short tails. You must quiet if you want to watch quails. They are very shy. They are quite shy. The small Q is a quarterback. A quarterback has to be quick. George was quick. He would qualify for a quarterback. Now get your football, George, said the man. It will do you good to play a little before we go on with the letters. George knew how to play the game. He knew how to carry the ball and how to have a 3-point stance and how to get ready for the kickoff. He was a fine halfback, too. He could make a short pass and recover a fumble. Good game, said the man. And now it's time up now. Back to the alphabet. The big R is a rabbit. Some rabbits are white with red eyes. Rabbit love radish. George loved rabbit. He had once as a pet. The small R is a rooster. Rooster crows when the sun rises. Two roosters will start with a rumpus and they really can get rough. The big S is a snail and the small s is a small snail. Snails are slow. They sneak down into their shell when they are scared of something. George thought snails look silly. The big T is a table. The table is set for two. It is time for tea. George did not care for tea, but he liked toast. The small T is a tomahawk. George had a toy tomahawk. It was tiny and he took it along when he played outside. Now it's time for a snack, said the man. Run over the baker, George, and hand him this note. Then come back right back with the donuts. 1 dozen of them and no tricks, please. George was curious. He looked at the note and the man had written 1 dozen donuts. Maybe he could write something on it too. He would. How about writing 10 instead of 1? He had just learned the T. First A and then an E and then an N. Said the baker. 10 dozen donuts is quite a lot, but That's what the note says. We need an extra big bag of them. Why, George, cried the man, and then he saw the note. Well, that comes from teaching the alphabet to a little monkey. And I told you, no tricks. You may not eat any donuts now, George. Put them back in the bag and let's go on with the letters. The big U is a big umbrella. Stand it upright. The umbrella handle is also like a U. George knew how to use an umbrella. The small U is a small umbrella. When it's raining, umbrellas are useful, but you must keep them you must keep under the umbrella unless you want to get wet. George thought rain was a nuisance. The big B is Valentine, and the small b is a small Valentine. George loved Valentines. He got several Valentine's cards every year. One card came from Nevada. The big W and the small w are whiskers. The big ones and small ones, and a walrus has whiskers. Some men have whiskers and cat have whiskers. George did not have whiskers, but he was curious how he would look like if he did. The next letter of the alphabet is X. The big X and the small x just look alike. Only one is big and the other one is small, just like the big W and the small W, or the B or the U or the S, and some of other letters in the alphabet. But, said the man, there are a few words that start with an X and they do not look like an X, except one, and that's Christmas. Santa stands for Christmas. There is only one Santa, so we need only one picture. George thought Christmas was exciting. The big Y is a yak, and the small y is a small yak. He's still young. Yaks live in Tibet. If you don't have seen any yaks yet, you may find one at the zoo. The big Z is a big zebra, and the small z is a small zebra. The zebras are zipping along with zest. You know what, said the man? Z is the last letter of the alphabet. Now you know all the 26 letters of the alphabet. And now you may have the donuts. The end. So I hope you enjoyed this video, enjoy the story. I am going to put the link of the story on the platform. And remember to always practice your letters. Remember to practice the name of the letters and the sound of the letters. And also you can practice this video as many times as you like. Bye.